Hello, I'm Marcus, and also known as MCAS. You can find me at mcas.blog. And I'm going to start a new series on Rust. So, Rust is a new programming language. Kind of excited about it. I've done a little bit and excited to learn more. And one of the ways I learn is by doing. And there's a set of problems I usually enjoy doing, which are the Project Euler. So, there's 716 problems they have out. So it's mostly math. I have a math background, so I don't tend not to mind them. There's some that get kind of tricky, but I'm going to work my way through. And so let's learn Rust while doing these problems. So one of the things to get started, go to rust-lang.org, get started, and they have a little installer. I'll assume you can follow all that, and I'm just going to dive right in. All right, so the first problem up is, and one of the things I'll do, I'm not going to solve the Project Euler people who don't like people giving out answers, because then people just fill in the answers. So we'll go all the way to figuring out the answer, but without, you have to either copy it or duplicate the code to actually get it. So the first problem, multiples of 3 and 5. Find the sums of all multiples below 1,000. It's a pretty straightforward problem. So let's get started. All right, we're going to do one directory per problem. You can run, let me delete that. If you do cargo, I think it's called init p1, it will create a package for me and everything. So there's my directory. So it initializes everything. If you're used to React, it's like your create React app. So in here, you have a TOML file, and this just says, hey, this is what we're doing. If you have dependencies, you put them here. This is equivalent to like a package JSON. But what we really want is our source. I'm going to use Vim for all this just because it's Vim. And there's our program just printing out a string. All right, we want to run it. We run cargo run. And look at that. Hello world. Everything's working. All right. So let's go to there. And I also have a shortcut. If I do build, it'll do my hello world. So I'll probably end up doing that a lot. I use the Rust Vim. Where is it? Rust. So Rust-lang Vim plugin. So if you want that. Makes it useful, and then I installed a couple of shortcuts. So one to do cargo run is my build command, and then one to do a test. So my shortcuts. You can grab all those at my GitHub.files, GitHub mcas.files, and it's probably somewhere like extras and Vim, something like that. Who knows? If you want that, if you want Vim, use whatever editor you like. Some people like Visual Studio Code. I can get that. All right, we're going to do Euler number 1. And I think I still have my directions copied. Here's what we're trying to solve. All right, list all the natural numbers below 10. They give you an example. They say 3, 5, 6, 9. The sum of these is 23, and then we want to find them all below 1,000. All right, so to do this, first I'm going to create a test. Test because I want to verify that my multiples works. Multiples, and we're going to assert that our function, we'll create a function called multiples. And we pass in a number. We list all the natural numbers below 10. There are multiples of 3 or 5. We get 3, 5, 6, 9. Some of these is 23. I guess we can do it like that. Sure. And we expect that to equal 3, 5, 6, 9. Not sure if this is how I really want to solve it. This is such an easy problem. The test might be overkill. But let's try that. let's try it anyways. We'll do it a little bit harder. Function multiples, and we're going to pass in a number. Sure, it's at I32, and we're going to return back a vector of numbers. A vector is just an array in Rust, more or less the same. All right, so let's loop for our number and 1 to a number. If this, we're going to want something to return, right? So we're going to want a stack, doesn't matter what we call it, a vector 32, and let's initialize that. And then if our number is divisible by 3 or 5, we will push it onto that stack. Stack push x. We got a couple mistakes here already, I can see. There should be an x, not number. And that should be an x, not number. And then if we return the stack. It looks like that should work. Let's try it. Run the test, and the test worked. Hey, all right, we're already working. So then it'll be easy enough. I don't really have to test the sum. I can if I want. It seems a little unnecessary. We can prove it out. So if we say print line sum, let's just do this. Let sum equals multiples of 10, print line sum, and nope, let's actually sum it. Let's see if that works. All right, did not like that. It expected, does not know the method of sum on vectors. I believe there's a way to do this already, though. It does not exist on vectors. So let's take a look at our Rust, because I believe there is a way to do this. Rust sum vector. No, I'm looking for it before. Iteration sum. The vector docs are. Maybe I have to do it over the iterator. So let's try that. Close that. I may have to say this is an iterator and then do the sum. Consider giving sum a type. All right, so we need. So the great thing about Rust is it tells you there's a lot of rules to it, but it'll tell you what you're doing wrong, and then you just have to fix the rules. So there we go. We do sum 10 equals that. So if I change this to 100, it should give me all the multiples under 100 and give me the sum of that. Oops. I closed the wrong window. Let's run that, and there we go. So we change that to 1,000, and we'll get our proper answer. But as I said, I don't want to give those out to keep all the Euler people are happy and leave it for an exercise for you. So Euler number 1, the real meat of this is just the modulo. We're going to do a loop, go through the modulo. I did it as a multiples. It's probably easier. You can probably just simplify this whole thing down. I wanted it to be testable because it's kind of nice to do that. They could probably do the whole thing in something like this, right? Just take this. We want a mutable number. Sum equals sum plus x, right? That would probably do the same exact thing. Nice, short and sweet. Did not like I defined, Rust doesn't like if you define something and don't use it. So I defined a function that I'm not using. So if I wanted a really short, simple one, that'd be our answer. then you just change this to 1,000 and you'd be all done. All right. That's Euler number 1. Hopefully you enjoy it. We'll see how these go, and thanks a lot.